Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we are talking about Tropical Storm Agatha, which is the first named storm of the year in either basin, both the East Pacific and the Atlantic, this one being in the East Pacific. Let's get started here on the National Hurricane Center page. Right now, Agatha has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles an hour, minimum central pressure of 1,002 millibars, and is moving west-northwest at 5 miles per hour. First off, let's look at our warnings and cone. So at the moment, we have a tropical storm, and throughout the day on Saturday, we are going to see this remain a tropical storm but continue to gain in strength before becoming a hurricane early in the morning on Sunday, and by about 7 p.m. on Monday, this should make landfall in southwest Mexico before starting to diminish in wind speed as it moves across land into Tuesday. So our forecast cone here has much of Mexico in the potential areas where this storm could make landfall, although the central path at the moment takes it right past the Gulf of Tehuantepec in Mexico. So let's look at our arrival time of winds with 5-day wind speed probabilities turned on. You can see here that along the shoreline, the worst of the winds should start to develop between Sunday at 8 a.m. and Sunday at 8 p.m., and that is the earliest reasonable time. The most likely time of winds is between Sunday 8 p.m. and Monday at 8 a.m. along the coastline. And you can see here that the worst of the winds is right along the coast, but as the storm moves further into the Mexican mainland, of course, the wind speeds will go down, but the highest chance, which is a 100% chance of tropical storm force winds, is still off the coast. So there is a possibility here that the land area of Mexico does not receive tropical storm force winds. Of course, there is a very low probability that this does weaken back off. Now, here are our key messages brought to you by the National Hurricane Center. So the first key message is there's an increasing risk of tropical storm force and hurricane force winds along portions of the southern coast of Mexico Sunday night and Monday, and a hurricane watch remains in effect for portions of this area. Interests should closely monitor the progress of this system and updates to the forecast. Heavy rains associated with Agatha will develop over portions of southern Mexico by Sunday and continue through Tuesday. This will pose a threat of potentially life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides. So, here's our current storm information. Of course, we have our official forecast, but let's take a look at our global hurricane models. Which I guess we're not going to have any because they're not loading. But the GFS Ensemble, also known as the GEFS, shows a increasing strength of the storm before it makes landfall, but a direct pass right over the southern coastline of Mexico. And our GEPS Ensemble is showing about the same thing. We don't have intensity guidance either. There really isn't much on this current storm information. Hopefully we can see this change, but at the moment there's not a lot of information at the moment. So here's the Hwrf model, and you can see here that it is centered on Tropical Storm Agatha at the moment, and we have a increasing millibar count here. This is 995 here around 2 p.m. on Saturday, and all the way down to 985 here by 8 a.m. on Sunday. And we can see that this starts to get close to the mainland on Monday, down into the 960s now. Definitely at a hurricane force here. You can see that eye wall developing, and that eye pretty defined there as well at 960 millibars. And eventually on the 31st, which I believe is Tuesday, we see that landfall off the coast of the Gulf of Tehuantepec, and we see that within hours here, we go from 980 millibars down to 1,000. So the mountainous terrain of southern Mexico is really going to tear this storm apart before it eventually enters back into the Gulf of Mexico, and could even develop again there, since it is possibly going to only be over land for, a good 12 hours. Now let's go down here and take a look at our wind speeds. So at peak here, right before landfall, we could see our maximum winds are at 96.5 knots, which is close to 100 miles an hour, which could mean that this storm does go Category 2 hurricane. And our minimum MSLP, also known as millibars, is 962.4 millibars. So the peak of the millibars here is at 961, I believe. And that peak wind speed does increase up to 97.5 before it eventually goes down over the coastline to 66.8. But at this point, we're looking at most likely a Cat 1, maybe even a Category 2 hurricane in strength. And if this does end up happening, areas along the southern coast of Mexico could be severely impacted. That is all the information that I have for today. If you enjoyed this video and found it informational, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell. That is all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.